ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay. So let's start. I think last time we had seen till Mahashakti. Yeah. Okay. So let's start. So those who maybe you missed out last week's class also, you have the recording. You can listen to that. Okay. Let's start with Mahadyuti today. So as per Shankaracharya's Bhashya, Mahati Dyutihi Bahyambhyantara Chasyeti Mahadyutihi. The one who's endowed with, you can say, luminosity. Now luminosity in easy terms, if I have to tell, it is like shine, or you can say luster or freshness, something like that. So one who's full of brightness in and out, that is the Lord. So you have something from the Shukla Yajurveda that is being quoted. Now this line that is there, Shukla Yajurveda, little you have to, maybe you can make a note of this. Why? Because terms from Shukla Yajurveda are not that popular. Not that popular in the sense we are not much familiar with that. So Shukla Yajurveda from the Sama Veda, you have this, not a Sama. Shukla Yajusama, that is one meaning that is there. Shukla Yajurveda, you can consider. So Jyotisham Jyotihi, that is one light of lights, as we say in easy language, that is Mahadyutihi. So for this now there's a story behind this. Now, once it so happened, now the story already we have seen in one of the earlier namas of the Vishnu Sahasranama, but a different reference for this. So now one thing you have to note now, especially in a few of us, we are studying the Puranas, right? So you'll know that most of the stories, you can say there are few stories, like for example, the Samudra Manthana concept that is there, or maybe the different avatars of Vishnu, like Vara Avatara, Vamana Avatara, Narsimha Avatara, Prahalada story, Dhruva story. This is repeated in majorly all the Puranas. Right now, we have seen almost all the Puranas. Only two are remaining: Brahma Vaivarta and Bhagavatam. So, I wanted to tell anyone, for whomever possible, Bhagavatam still time. In Brahma Vaivarta, we have just someone is there. Anuradha ji, Sri Vidya ji. Anuradha ji, we are on Brahmanda Purana right now. Is it done? Brahmanda Purana, did we complete? No, right? Not yet. Okay. So Brahmanda Purana and two more are remaining. Brahma Vaivarta Purana and Bhagavata Purana. So if anyone wants to join in, you can join. It is, I think, the same link. Night 9 to 10. Saturday, Sunday. Only Saturday. Sorry. Only Saturday night 9 to 10. Okay. So coming back. So in the Puranas, if you see, there are a lot of stories that are repeated, or at times it happens. Say, for example, I'll give you one example: story of Raja Harishchandra. That is there. One is the Harishchandra movie that came in. Secondly, you have Harishchandra's story in the Ramayana. You have Harishchandra's story in few of the Puranas. But if you see the story, the name of the person, everything is same, but little the story background differs. So now in that again we say Itihasa Purana. Yeah. So like this, if there is a confusion or a conflict, first preference has to be given to the Itihasas. That is the reference that has been mentioned either in the Ramayana or Mahabharata, and then maybe you can consider the validity of the Puranas. So if there is a conflict like this, first preference to the Itihasas, then Puranas. But then here you must be wondering then why something different has been mentioned, right? Or why, how should I believe something, or how there will be belief in things if the same thing has been portrayed in two or three different ways, or two or three different story references. So for this, it is just like because of the different time periods that take place, or maybe one more explanation or answer that is given for this is the things that happen in every kalpa, a few things are repeated, it seems. So therefore every time now, say for example, maybe you go to a restaurant, maybe today you go somewhere, you have some food or something, maybe after 3 4 months again you'll go to the same restaurant, maybe you will not order the same thing, you'll eat something else, maybe after 6 months again you go there, 1 year again you go. So you're going to the same place, but every time you go to the same place, experience is different, right? Maybe you order something new, or even if you order the same dish, the taste is different, or maybe that day is maybe one day you'll find it's very good, Maybe the next time you go, if I know little, maybe the taste is not that good. Or maybe the third time you have a group of people who come along, so you have a more nice time. So it is the same. The point is the same place we are going, maybe the same dish you're eating, but every time the experience is new. One more example, everyone we live in a family, right? They're the same family members. You look at them, maybe you have your parents, children, whatever it is. Everyone is same, but still every day doesn't go same, right? Or even if someone is living all alone, so every day I'm all alone, the four walls of the house are there, but still every day is a new experience. So the same thing here also, the Puranic stories or wherever we have some conflicts like this, we should not say that everything is just false or just mere interpretation. It's not like that. Maybe there is a difference in the time period, or maybe there is a difference in the context of the story, so therefore you have a few differences. So coming back to this Nama also, Brahma, once he wanted to do a sacrifice. So for that, what happens is, he calls in Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, as we saw, he calls an assembly of gods and sages, and they all have a discussion, saying that which river, or you can say which goddess is great. Is it Ganga or is it Saraswati? So few gods they say that no, it is Saraswati only. She is a goddess of knowledge. She is a goddess of the Vedas, Jnana Devi, Vag Devi, and so on. So she will only be the goddess who rules over everything. So for that, few of them agree, but the other party they said no, river Ganga should be more auspicious, or she should be greater than Saraswati, because Ganga river, she has been poured down, Poured, poured down by Brahma. She falls on the feet of Lord Vishnu, and then further she then stays on the head, on the jata of Lord Shiva. So one who has got the grace and blessings of all the three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, obviously she has to be more great. So like this conflict takes place. So at this time what happens is Saraswati Devi was listening to all this. Now all this discussion was taking place in Brahmaloka. So obviously Saraswati Devi is going to be present there. She did not like this. She tells no, in my presence only, and more she gets angry on her husband Brahma. So a very everyday concept that is there. Even though a group of people, even if they talk bad about you or they tell you something, we go and we fight with our own people, right? Be it your own husband, wife, or parents, whoever it is. How dare you say something? Then we say, no, let anyone say anything, but how dare you say? So with our close people, we don't expect them to maybe tease us or insult us, whatever it is. So the same thing happened with Saraswati Devi also. She did not like Brahma also being in that assembly, and maybe he was not insulting, but then when this discussion took place, she felt very bad that Brahma was also a part of this. So at that time, what she does is she leaves from Brahmaloka, and she comes down to Bharata Desha in Prithvi, where we have the Saraswati River flowing today. Obviously, in today's times, it is not there, but a few years back, Saraswati River was very much present. She flows through the central part of today's Bharata Desha. So she comes there, and on the river bank where the Saraswati River used to flow, she sits down there and she's engrossed in meditation, she's engrossed in studies, and so on, in playing her veena. So, so she leaves Brahma and she comes about. Brahma had two more wives, Gayatri and Savitri. Savitri, Gayatri. So once Brahma he comes down to Kanchipuram and he decides to do a sacrifice that is there, Ashwamedha sacrifice. Now to do a sacrifice or some yajna karma, it cannot be done without the wife. That's the reason why when you do the even the Shraddha karma rituals or even a marriage and so on, like Kanyadanam and so on, or even for a boy also, it should not be done without the partner. That's the reason if one, be it husband or wife, if one of them is not there, we tell someone else in the family to do, right? So therefore both of them should be very much present. A man, or you can say a person who does a grihastha, who does sacrifices and so on, he cannot do that without his wife. This is a dharma, grihastha dharma. So therefore now Brahma needed someone to do the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Saraswati had gone, she was very angry, so she had gone away. So now with the help of Savitri and Gayatri, he does this sacrifice. So now what happens is, now just as it is human tendency, or you can say law of nature, if something good has to happen, there are hurdles that come, right? So that's the reason when something auspicious or good is about to happen, we pray, right? We pray to the Lord, saying that no, everything should take place well and so on. So the same thing Brahma was also expecting, but as usual, destiny had to play. So then a few asuras were there. They felt that we'll go and tell Saraswati Devi that your husband Brahma is sitting with his other two wives and he's planning to do a sacrifice. So immediately, now those asuras had no connection with Goddess Saraswati. They had never worshipped her, nothing. But just to create some hurdles also, they went to the place where Saraswati Devi was present, and there they go and they tell that your husband Brahma is doing all this in Kanchipuram and so on. Now she gets very angry. And in another reference, not in this Nama reference, in another reference of the Vishnu Sahasranama, in anger, she flows as river Vegavati. Today also, if you see in Kanchipuram, the river flows. Vegavati, that's how she gets the name, meaning very fast. In anger, Goddess Saraswati transforms herself into a river and starts flowing. That is another reference. In this reference, coming back, what happens is Saraswati Devi, she tells the sun god and the moon god, sun and moon, stop. That is, don't rise in Kanchipuram at all. So it is utter darkness in Kanchipuram. How will Brahma do the sacrifice? It seems that only the sacrificial fire that was there, that was the only light which was burning in Kanchipuram at that time. No sunlight, no moonlight, sun did not rise at all, moon did not rise at all. So Saraswati Devi was very angry, so she instructed both the sun god and moon god not to rise. Utter darkness, only the Agni of Brahma's sacrifice was burning. Now, how will the sacrifice take place? Brahma wanted to do the sacrifice. So at that time, Lord Vishnu himself, he manifests as Mahadyutihi or Mahandyutihi, you can say. That means a great light, and the light in which Lord Vishnu, he manifested himself in a form of a Jyoti, that is there, a small flame of light. But it was so powerful that sun, moon, nothing was needed. Entire Kanchipuram started burning, it seems, as brightened up, and that's how Brahma completed his sacrifice successfully. So even today also, if you go to Kanchipuram, there is a place called Tupul, and I think the name of the temple is Tirutankai. I don't know if anyone has visited there. Tirutankai, there the name of the god is Deepa Prakasha Perumal. Deepa Prakasha meaning the one who has lighted up, or one who helped Brahma in completing his sacrifice. I think in Tamil you call it as Valakkodi Perumal. Valakkodi Perumal, that means the one who carries light, or one who was responsible for giving light, providing light, or Deepa Prakasha Perumal. So even today you have a temple in Kanchipuram. Is the Lord who provided light. So when nothing is there, when there is utter darkness, the one who provides light, or one who guides us in our path. So maybe you need not consider the meaning literally. How we can interpret it is, the Nama is Mahadyutaye Namaha. So the Lord, just as he brightened up the sacrifice of Brahma and helped him in completing a sacrifice completely successfully, similarly, the Lord will lighten up all our lives also, show us the right path, and ensure that we are all always guiding. We are all always moving about in the same path. When this is one meaning. Secondly, when there is utter darkness in our lives, maybe a lot of problems, a lot of calamities coming in all of our lives. We have some low periods also that come in. At that time, the Lord brightens our life as Mahadyutihi. So the Nama is Mahadyutaye Namaha. Falashruti is he will always shower us all with his anugraham and brighten our lives, remove all the darkness and ajnanam that is there. Okay, could everyone follow this Nama? Yes? Okay, okay. Next. Anirdeshya vapuhu. इदं तदिति निर्देष्टुं यन्न शक्यते परस्मै स्वसंवेद्यत्वात् तत् अनिर्देश्यं वपुः अस्येति अनिर्देश्यम्. Now, anirdeshya vapuhu, nirdeshyam. Nirdeshyam means that which has been told. So it is like something. Now, say for example, there are few things maybe. Now, say for example, Vishnu Sahasranama. Let's take the example. Now, if someone asks, what is Vishnu Sahasranama? Simple meaning, 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu. What are the 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu? Maybe you can chant the names. What is the meaning of all this? You can tell the meanings. Beyond this, we cannot explain, right? Say for example, now what is English? If we say for example, some language. No, so it is a language, it has got 26 letters and so on. What are the 26 letters? Maybe you can say from A to Z. What are vowels? What are consonants? Okay, A, E, I, O, U, vowels. Others are consonants. Beyond this, we cannot explain. What is A? What is B? Or what is the meaning of A? What is the meaning of B? If you ask, what do you say? This is how it is. You cannot just question what is A. This is a rule of the language, right? So like this, Anirdesha Vapuhu meaning the Lord. When you have to explain the Lord, if I have to say what is God, if someone asks, all of you have different interpretations, right? So maybe I'll say some supreme energy. Someone will say some power which is there. Someone will say something which is more stronger or greater than all of us. Like this, there can be many answers that are there. It is now when we answer, say for example, now about 30 people, when we answer, it just shows our way of thinking. Now, if I just ask all of you what is God, there is no fixed answer, right? Everyone will tell as per your own thinking, as per your own you can say capacity, but there is no fixed answer, and at some point of time we cannot explain it further. So this is what it is. You cannot ask further, right? So the same thing is there in the case of the Lord also. It cannot be described very easily. Maybe if I say God, okay, there are different forms of the God. This is Krishna, this is Rama, this is Shiva. Krishna looks like this, maybe the physical form and so on, I can describe. Beyond that, beyond a certain level, the description cannot be done. So that this is how it is, you have to take it. So if you have to realize the true form of the Lord, that means you have to put in a lot of efforts. You have to follow the marga of Bhakti marga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Sannyasa Yoga, just as the Lord describes in the Gita. So one who's beyond some physical form. Now the physical description of the God of the Lord, if he gives, say for example Krishna, he has a flute in his hand, he has a Mayura Picham, he wears a Pitambaram. This is a physical form. Who has seen it? But has anyone of you seen? No. Have I seen? No. I've just heard it. I've maybe seen a photo. The reality, no one has seen the physical form. But this is how we imagine. Maybe someone somewhere would have seen thousands of years back. It has just been passed on. But now, here, one thing you have to note. When I tell you such things, if you wonder, then maybe you feel, this is what it is true, right? No one has seen it. My mother didn't see, my grandmother didn't see, her mother didn't see, but I'm believing in things. But then here we must not say that that means I'm a fool in believing things which are not of reality at all. Someone has seen it somewhere, there is no proper proof. I've not seen it with my eyes at all. I'm just believing in images. We must not feel that this is all true. That this is all just mere false or so. If something has been believed, and if centuries and for generations together, if we are believing in something, now maybe 1,000 years back, right from Krishna Avatara, if you see. Now, one thing is we have many proofs, we have many texts and books in which the form of the Lord has been described. So, based on that, a lot of imagination is done. You can come to conclusion. That is one part. Secondly, things that have been told maybe right from Krishna Avatara times till date. The form of Krishna, if I say he wears a pitambaram, that is yellow color clothes, he has a flute in his hand, he has a peacock feather on his head, he is of dark complexion and so on. Your father also believed in the same form. Our mother also believed in the same form. Grandparents, like this. All the our ancestors also believed in the same form. No one, no, no, my Krishna is having a red color skin. Your Krishna has a blue color skin. Third person will say something else. It is not like that. It is the same belief that comes in. When I say Krishna, same image is coming to all of your minds, right? 30 people will not have 30 different imaginations. I'm just giving you one example of Krishna. It can be anything. So the point which I'm trying to say is, for years together, not let's not say years, for centuries and generations together, if we have believed in something and if the same thing has been passed down, surely there will be some surety on this, be it for all our scriptures or be it the form of the gods that are there, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and so on. It has been passed on. Or even the Vedas, for example. Vedas, if you see, they were not even available in the form of books. It was just passed on through oral tradition, through our sages and so. But this oral tradition has to be so strong that it has been passed on, right? Today, recordings are there, books are there, technology is there. Still, we are not able to learn things. Just imagine, even if you have the book in front of you, even if you have the recording also, 10 times I have to listen, 10 times I have to go through. I'll give you my own example. Now, the Vishnu Sahasranama stories that are there. Before the class, 10 times I have to look at the book. Okay, Parashara tells this. Parashara writes a commentary. That's how you have all these stories. Shankaracharya just writes a bhashya that you can see on your screen. Stories that I tell you are from Parashara's commentary that are there. So I have to go through both. Maybe 4 or 5 namas only I tell you every class. That too. It depends. So therefore, every time I say, oh, this is this, this is this, this is the nama, this is a story. 5 to 10 times I have to read. Everything is there in front of my eyes, but still it becomes difficult. This is our level today. Imagine people, our own ancestors, our own sages, who didn't have anything in front of their eyes. That's when they followed the Saptapati method that is there. And I think shared, right? Chanting or maybe memorizing. Each line you chant it 7 times, you keep repeating, automatically it gets memorized. Few of you can try for yourself. I think few of you have done that and were successful also. You take a verse, you break it into 4 parts. Each part you try to chant it 7 times, then the entire verse 7 times, automatically it gets by hearted. So, like this, there were many methods that were used, and you don't have anything in front of your eyes. That's when they used 100% of their brains and they could learn everything. They did not learn, they did not keep the learning for themselves, they passed it on to others. So, when such things have we have got, be it the form of the Lord that is there, or be it our scriptures, whatever it is, the least that we can do is At least when we have everything in front of our eyes, we should be able to open and read that and preserve the same. So therefore we cannot just conclude and say no, everything will be just false. If things have to be false, they will just go away. Things that maybe happened maybe yesterday, you don't remember it. Yesterday what did everyone have for dinner? Half of us, we don't remember. Why? Because it's not of that importance. Whereas things which are of importance or which you feel maybe it will have an impact, automatically it gets registered in our mind. We don't remember things that happened 2 or 3 years back. Maybe they would have been something big, but we don't remember. Whereas Krishna Avatara taking place thousands of years back, or the form of Krishna, or our scriptures, or whatever it is, even till date, if we remember, without, nobody has seen the physical form, right? So, without seeing anything in front of our eyes, if we are believing in something, surely it has got some utmost importance. This is one aspect. There can be a third aspect. So, two things I told you. One is you have the mention in our scriptures also. So, based on that, we can conclude. Secondly, things have been passed on for thousands of years together. So, obviously, it has to have some importance that is there. Thirdly, it also, just because today we are not experiencing something. Now if I say no, I cannot see the physical form of the Lord today, so Lord does not exist. Let us not just consider only about religion or so on. It can be anything, right? Maybe, like I always give you the example of this online medium, that is maybe 3 4 years back, none of us, before the COVID times, none of us, we were not using this. That doesn't mean that this medium did not exist. We had, right? We had Skype, we had Zoom and other things that were there. It's just that we were not that much well versed with it. If you have to learn something, to go somewhere, you have to go to a physical class, sit there, the teacher teaches, and so on. Today things are easy. Everyone, you have it Zoom or Google Meet or whatever it is, everyone is familiar. It's just like our normal maybe WhatsApp or things like that, one of the common apps which everyone has, everyone is used to. So just because 4 5 years back it was not of much importance doesn't mean that such a thing does not exist. Same is applicable even here. Just because we have not seen the Lord doesn't mean that such a concept does not exist, because we have devotees like Prahlada, Dhruva, and so many other devotees who have actually seen the Lord. So it's just for that only one conclusion. Our bhakti has not reached till that level, so you cannot sit at your homes and boast saying that no, everything is just false. So why I'm giving you all this explanation is anirdeshya vapuhu. After a certain point we cannot sit and argue saying that is it true, is it false. We cannot keep asking logical reasons for everything. After a certain point, this is what it is beyond description. If you have to realize, like it is mentioned here, it has to be known by one's own self. Be a bhakta, become a bhakta like Prahlada, like Dhruva. Do a lot of penance, do a lot of tapasya, you will surely be able to realize anirdeshya vapuhu. This is one aspect. Secondly, Nammalvar. You have the stories from the Alvar reference also. Nammalvars, the different Alvars, Nayanmars, or the Shankaracharyas, the different Guru Parampara that we have. They many times they say that I have manifested God or the Lord has come and spoken to me. What is their way of bhakti? They have a connection with the Lord. So they try to show some a form of bhakti. They will write many texts, many stotras, and so on that we have today. So they have a direct connection with the Lord. And with the help of them, with the help of our gurus, we are able to know the form of the Lord. This is one meaning. Then Anirdesha Vapuhu, one more aspect you can consider is that Lord which is beyond the Pancha Mahabhutas. Now, if you see our bodies that are there, we are composed of 5 elements, right? Air, water, space, Pancha Mahabhutas. Whereas the Lord is a form of Pancha Upanishads. So that is something which is beyond perception that is there. That is Pancha Mahabhutas. Now, Anirdesha Vapuhu, it seems that now a person, one more aspect how you can compare is, say for example, human beings now. Now, I am the same person to maybe my father, I am a daughter, to maybe my brother, I am a sister, to maybe my friend, I am a friend, right? So, I'm the same person, but depending on the people, my relationship changes. But for the same person I cannot form two different for my for the same person I cannot have two or more relationships, right? For my father I can be only a daughter, for my brother I can be only a sister, for my friend I can be only a friend. There is only one relationship that can I have. But this is for human beings, whereas for the Lord, he can be our mother, he can be our father, he can be our friend, he can be anything. Pita, mata, bandhu, sakha, as we say. So this is the difference between human beings and the Lord, and that's how he gets his name, Anirdeshya Vapuhu, one who's beyond perception or one who's beyond imagination, things like that. The same person who can have different relationships with the same, with the, you can say the same bhakta. Say for example, today maybe I look upon the Lord as my guide or a teacher. Tomorrow I might look upon him as my friend. Maybe the third day I look upon him as my son. So it can be anything. The same person, with the same person, I can change relationships also. That is anirdeshya vapuhu. So like this, there are different relationships that have been told. Pita, that is like a father, he protects. Rakshakaha, like a protector, he guides us. Sheshi is one form of the Lord. Sheshi meaning one who accepts all our devotion. Sheshi, or you can also consider like a friend also. So Sheshi is someone, maybe a true friend, he will always guide us. So that is the meaning of Sheshi here. Then Bharata, like a husband, he will always be there along. Then Nyeyaha, Nyeyaha meaning the right power to choose between what is good and bad. Nyayaha meaning you can say it has come from the word Nyayaha. The right decisions have to be taken at the right time. Maybe there is a situation you have to decide, should I do this, should I do that? The Lord helps us in it. That is Nyayaha. Swami, he is the Lord, we are his bhaktas. Adharaha, we are all dependent on him. He is like a support system for all of us. Adharaha. Atma, inside all of us there is a Jivatma. Inside the Jivatma, the Paramatma exists. So soul, that is Atma. Bhokta, Bhokta you can consider like a spectator. Means we do different kinds of worship, Nevidyam and so on, and we believe that the Lord accept it, that is Bhokta. So Anirdesha Vapuhu, this meaning is one who is beyond everything, one who cannot be described. This is what it is, you have to believe in it. But at the same time, he plays different roles. Like I told you now, Pita, Rakshakaha, Sheshi, Bharta, Neyaha, Swami, Adharaha, Atma, and Bhokta. So basically, he plays 9 different roles, one who cannot be described at all. So it's just for our convenience. Depending on the situation, we change. Okay, today he's my protector. Tomorrow he's maybe he helps us. If I'm in a confused situation, he will help me. Maybe he will be my support system and so on. So depending on the situation, Lord Narayana or Lord Vishnu plays different roles. So one who cannot be described, one who does not have a fixed description, that is Anirdeshya Vapuhu. The Nama is Anirdeshya Vapushe Namaha. This is the Nama, and the Parashruti is one who protects us in all kinds of situations by playing different roles. Okay, could everyone follow this Nama? Yes? Okay. Okay. Next is Shriman. Aishwarya Samagra Shrihi Yasya Saha Shriman. Now, Shriman, this Nama has already come in the Vishnu Sahasranama before. Now, Vishnu Sahasranama is that Nama, or you can say that Sahasranama, which has got a repetition of few Namas. Lalita Sahasranama is only Sahasranama, which has not even a single name that has been repeated. Whereas Vishnu Sahasranama and all other Sahasranamas, they will have repetition of Namas that are there, but the interpretation or the meaning of each Nama will be different. So, Shriman, this Nama which has come earlier, in that context, it was used for prosperity, or it was used for, you can say, beauty. Not prosperity, you can consider beauty. But in this context, it is used for earrings, or not earrings, ornaments, abharanam. So one who is endowed with wealth, when we say wealth in the form of ornaments. Now Lord Vishnu, if you know, he is alankara priya. The Lord Vishnu, the Lord, he likes to deck up himself with. Shivaha Abhisheka Priyaha, Vishnuhu Alankara Priyaha, Suryaha Namaskara Priyaha, Brahmanaha. What is Brahmanaha? Bhojana Priyaha. Correct. So, Abhisheka Priya. Yes. Abhisheka Priya Shivaha, Alankara Priya Vishnuhu, Namaskara Priya Suryaha, Bhojana Priya Brahmanaha. This is what we say. Brahmanaha in the sense human beings. So, on a lighter note, it is shared. But Alankara Priya Vishnu. That's the reason Vishnu, if you see, he will always be dead. You go to any Vishnu temple, or you maybe visit, you do some Vishnu puja and so on. Shiva puja, when we do, it will just be Abhishekam, right, with milk and water. In the case of Vishnu, it will be Alankara. You cannot just simply do Abhishekam, milk, water, like Shiva is Ashutoshi. Vishnu also is pleased easily, but for Shiva, he just needs Abhisheka to be done. You just keep pouring water on him, just keep chanting Om Namah Shivaya, that's enough. The case of Vishnu, it's not like that. You have to deck him up well, wear good silk clothes, Pitambaram. And that's the reason why you see Vaishnavites who are there, they will also deck up themselves well. They'll have a lot of gold ornaments. Even you would have seen even men, Vaishnavites, even when the dhoti or whatever it is, the veshti that they wear, that will also have those thick borders that are there. Has anyone noticed that? Vaishnavites, is there anyone a Vaishnavite here? Huh. Yeah. So you would have always seen. Whereas, yeah, so they will, that is their way of decking up. There can be other reasons also for that. Whereas if you see, not, let's not call them, call as Shaivites, other people who are not proper Vaishnavites, they will wear the normal borders or so on. If you see in general, except for wedding ceremonies or so, normally men, they will wear the normal borders. It will not be too much. Now in the case of women, it's okay. Anyways, we deck up. Sorry? Jerry. Correct, correct. In fact, if you see some people, men, they will not even wear the jerry at all. That is a silk, they will not wear. So just the normal borders, that only they will wear. Whereas Vaishnavites usually, if you see, they will wear those thick borders that were there, or in marriage ceremonies, you would have seen the thick border veshtis that we buy for men, right? So the reason is, again, they are all Vishnu devotees. Vishnu himself, the Lord himself, likes to deck up. So devotees also, they will also deck up well. They wear a lot of ornaments on all their 10 fingers. They'll have 10 rings, bracelets, this, that. So the Lord also, if you see, he is Alankara Priyaha. So that's why one Nama, Shriman, this Nama itself has been reserved for ornaments. So now what is the story here? It seems that there was a scholar. Now the story is again from the Sangam literature, that is Tamil literature. So a scholar in Tamil Nadu. So in those times now, for entertainment purpose, now today maybe you have movies or different places, we maybe go out, we have shopping centers, this, that, where we go, maybe on a weekend you go and you come back, that is there. In those times now, and maybe now you have something, we have our mobile phones, is that entertainment can be anything, listening to music. Whereas in those times, when there was kings, when there were kings who were ruling in, the purpose of how people used to entertain themselves is the king used to organize something in his kingdom. So maybe like a music concert, or maybe like some debate and so on. Nowadays, maybe we don't have a lot of debates also that take place, but maybe still in those times there used to be a lot of these debate competitions and so on. So two parties, they'll be told two different topics, and a debate that takes place, lot of audience to come and watch. So that way many things used to take place. So like this scholar also was invited, just as nowadays we have these different upanyasams or speeches that are given. Similarly, the scholar was invited to speak on various topics, just for entertainment for the people. So the king was very pleased. He was a very good scholar, very good orator, so he spoke very well. And the king also, he very handsomely rewarded him. Now how he rewarded was, he gave him lot of gold ornaments, gold coins, and so on. Now usually if you see scholars, or you can say all these, let's not call it only as the Brahmana community, Brahmins, if you see, they will always not be very, very prosperous. Now, of course, today's times it has changed. Just as even in our Puranic stories and so on, also we have reference, Brahmanas are always not that rich. They will always be poor. Now, when I say Brahmanas, it is the teaching community that is there. So let's not say poor or rich in terms of money, but they will not be like too much behind. That is rather how they should be. Not too much behind. Maybe now the Vaishya community, if you see the business class, they will give a lot of importance to money. Now, money, I'm not talking about all of us. In the case of all of us, we don't belong to any community, let us say. Though maybe we are born as a Brahmin, or you belong to so and so, that is another thing. But whereas if you see in the society, when it was divided into four parts, they had some responsibilities that were given. Like the Brahmanas were the teaching class, Kshatriyas were people who used to protect, Vaishyas were the business class, and Shudras are actually taking care of the sanitation and the service class. So the responsibilities were divided, and that's how the society was divided. We have given it a very, we in the sense, mankind has given it as a very low outlook, divided into caste system and so on, which is a very, very wrong interpretation. So anyways, coming back, so usually if you see now, for the business community, it will always be a lot of importance that is given to money, right? That's the reason why you have some people who will be experts in money. When you just give them maybe 1 rupee less also, or maybe they will ask you, or their calculations are very fast and so on. So that is, a few people, they have the skill in them. Whereas usually scholars and those people, they'll not be that much interested maybe in gold, ornaments, money, and all such things. So this Brahmin was also like that, this scholar, and he belonged to like a very normal family. So not much, you can say, average family, or maybe you can consider as poor only. So his wife, his children, they had also never seen something like gold and so on. And when this scholar was rewarded with a lot of gold ornaments, gold coins, a bullock cart full. In those times, the mode of transport was through bullock carts. So the scholar was gifted a bullock cart full of gold ornaments and coins. Now these children and the wife, they had first of all never seen so many gold ornaments, gold coins and so on. They just knew that it is gold, it is something very special, very precious. They just saw that, and when they saw so much of ornaments in front of them, they did not know what to do. They did not know what to do in the sense they did not even know what to wear where. That is wear, where, where. That is, now, if you see a bangle, you know you have to wear it in your hand, earrings in your ears, necklace in your neck. But these kids, they did not know anything. Even the woman, she was not aware. So they picked up a bangle, put it on their ears. Maybe they took up a necklace, put it around their hip, like a Udayanam hip ornament, and so on. So that is, they were very happy. In their happiness, they didn't know how to express. And here, the author, he says that looking at this, I remember the reference from the Ramayana. Ramayana, when Sita, she threw down her ornaments which were given to her by Anasuya. The monkeys in Kishkinda, when they got that the small cloth which was full of ornaments, they were so happy. Now, obviously, monkeys are never going to see ornaments, right? So they just got something. It seems that the monkeys wore those ornaments and they also did the same thing. Maybe the bangles, they wore it on their ears, the necklace, they wore it around their hip. So they didn't know where which ornament has to be worn. So this scene that was there, what the scholar's wife and this his children were doing was quite similar to the monkeys in Kishkinda. The way they also reacted to the same way. So ornaments were something which, so looking at all this, maybe we take it on a, you can say, on a lighter note. But human beings, when we wear some ornament, say for example now, if we wear a bangle on our ear, obviously the world is going to laugh, right? Or maybe a necklace around our hip or something, maybe earring you wear only in one ear, or maybe in both the ears you wear two different earrings, something like that we'll never wear, right? But it seems that the Lord, when he wears even ornaments at the wrong places in the sense, even if he wears a necklace around the hip, that also looks beautiful for him. In fact, there are certain temples wherein the Lord, what he does is, now the earrings that men, for women it's okay. The men earrings that they wear, it will be maybe like a stud that is there or a small ring. Beyond that, they will not wear, they'll not wear big earrings, right? So it seems that in some temples, like the Rajagopala Swami temple, Mannargudi. That temple, if you see in the Brahmotsava, I think Brahmotsava, Rathotsava, I think some 18-day festival they have. There you have, this temple is again in Tamil Nadu. There, the Lord, it seems that he has got, there is a certain day wherein the Rakudi. Rakudi is a hair ornament that we wear, especially during marriages or people who do this dance programs like the Bharatnatyam and so on. You have those Surya Chandra. I hope everyone knows, right? What's a Rakudi? What do you call it? I'll show you a picture of it. Is there? What do you call it? Villai. Okay, one second. One second. I'll just share my screen. I'll show you what exactly it is. Yeah, this, somewhat this. There is like a hair ornament which we wear, especially I think for this Bharatnatyam dances and so on that day. So yeah. So the Lord, it seems that one day when he wears this during that Rathotsavam that is there, one fine day he wears this Rakudi as a necklace. So today when we do a lot of this mismatch things and so on, some people like, right, to do such things. Maybe not only in case of ornaments, even with case of saris also, they will not wear a matching blouse. It's a trend, right? You wear some other blouse and some other completely different sari, and they will call it as miss and match. Mismatch. What do you call it? Mix and match. Sorry. So that is also a fashion. Like that, ornaments also sometimes what we do. Maybe some chain you pull in, some other pendant you pull in. So same things. So the Lord, when he wears such things, it looks very beautiful. So this Rakudi, this hair ornament, also one time during this Rathotsava or this Brahmotsava, he wears it as a necklace. It seems it looks very beautiful. Then in some other alankara, what he does is he wears the men's stud, the earring stud in one ear. Then the other ear he wears the woman's, maybe whatever earring that women usually wear, the big earrings. But still, for the Lord, it looks beautiful. Then one more reference on the Krishna Avatara stories. Krishna, it seems that now Krishna used to graze cows and cow. So now whenever you go and graze cows, also it will be in hilly areas, mountainous areas. There'll be a lot of mud, sand, and so nearby. And as we know, Krishna's nature is he's not a one who will maybe sit very nicely in one place or so. Obviously, he's going to move about here and there. So a lot of mud used to be there on his face, it seems. If mud comes in our face, obviously immediately next minute we have to go and wash, right? Nobody will like us with the mud on our face. But for the Lord, it seems that it looked very beautiful. Now, first of all, he was dark complexion. So just imagine the form of Krishna, dark complexion. Meghashyamaha, Ghanashyamaha, dark as a cloud. Today we tease people or keep names who are very much dark complexion, or if we ourselves are dark, we feel bad. But the Lord himself, dark complexion, that to imagine wearing a yellow color cloth. So it is like so contrasting. But still, the Lord looks so beautiful on that. And therefore, the point is we must never feel bad if someone is dark or light complexion. The Lord himself has encouraged it. He himself was dark. So on that, a lot of mud used to be there on his face. But even that mud also, it used to seem like on a dark cloud, that is on a dark night, just how you have stars shining. Similarly, the Lord's face also used to look like that, very dark. But on that, when this mud particles used to be there, his face used to shine, it seems. So even mud also looks beautiful, like an ornament or like stars shining for the Lord. Or even if he does a mismatch of ornaments, it looks very beautiful for the Lord. So this is the meaning of this Nama Shriman. That is one who's endowed with ornaments, all kinds of ornaments. When if even if you mismatch and wear it at the wrong place, also which looks very beautiful for the Lord. That's how the Lord gets his name as Shriman. So the Nama is Shrimate Namaha. Shrimate Namaha. We'll also be blessed with all kinds of ornaments, not just the physical ornaments like gold, silver, and so on, but good ornaments of life that are there, maybe good satsangam, good people, all good things coming in, prosperity, and so on. So everything good and prosperous. That is the meaning of this Nama, Shrimate Namaha. Okay, could everyone follow this Nama? Yes? Okay. Next is Ameyatma. Sarvaihi pranibihi ameya buddhiratma yasya saha ameyatma. One who is the way he functions or the way he works, nobody knows that. That is, the Leela of the Lord cannot be known at all. This is the meaning of this Nama. For this, again, there is a story behind this. What's that? Once it so happened that Parashara, he had a conversation, it seems, with Lord Ranganatha. Uh, Now, Parashara Bhatta, he was a great bhakta, so he could have conversations with the Lord of Sri Rangam, Lord Ranganatha. So, when he was just speaking and describing about the Lord, he compared the Lord to the ocean that we have. And it seems that now, Valmiki also has described this. Valmiki, I think in the Ramayana, what he says is Anjalim prangmukham kritva pratishtitye, sorry, pratishishye mahodaye, he says, mahodadhe. Anjalim prangmukham kritva pratishishye mahodadhe. The meaning is when Rama, when he was resting on the ocean, that is on one side of the ocean, when they were wondering how to go to the other side where Lanka is, how should I cross over this ocean? At that time, when he was sitting and resting, it seems that he was also lying down. It was as if two oceans were facing each other. That is the original ocean which was there in front, and Rama also was considered to be a Karuna Rasam or Karuna Samudram. That is the Lord also, Anjalim Prangmukham Kritva, that is facing the ocean, he was sitting Pratishishye Mahodari. That means he was as if like competing with the original ocean. The Lord, who is full of compassion, he also looks like the ocean. So, very beautiful description by Valmiki. So, here Ranganatha also tells the Lord that you are also an ocean and so on. So, here Lord Ranganatha, he just wanted to test Parashara, just as the Lord tests all of us. So, he tested Parashara also, and he says, what, you compare me to the salt ocean? What is this? Salt ocean, muddy ocean, you have the sand everywhere, tastes so salty. Who will drink the ocean water, sea water? What is this? Am I like that? So Lord Ranganatha says. Parashara knew that the Lord was playing with him. So he says, it's not like that. I have an explanation why you are like the ocean. So Lord says, tell me why I am like the ocean. Parashara also did not tell readily. He says, why you don't know about yourself? Lord Ranganatha says, no, I don't know about myself. Why he says this is, he wants people, he wants devotees like us. That's why we have so much of acharyas and stotra vangmayam and so on to talk. You can say he wants his devotees to get the credit of praising him or maybe writing stutis and so on. He himself, if he starts talking, It's of no use, right? Someone has to talk about oneself, it can happen. If I have to say good things about me, I will only say good, right? I'll not never say, but even if though I know that maybe I have some flaws or so, I'll never show that outside. Whereas if someone else tells that no, this person is good, we truly believe, right? Because we about ourselves will always tell only good things. So of course, in the case of the Lord, it is different. But he wanted his devotee to get the credits, or he wanted to know what exactly is there in your mind. Parashara says, "Don't worry, I have a good answer for you. Why I have compared you to a ocean." So Parashara gives a detailed explanation. He says, one thing together is all the waters they come and meet in the ocean. Similarly, all the devotees following different paths, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Sannyasa Yoga, or any other part, any other you can say way of worship, everyone ultimately comes and meets to you only, O Lord, O Narayana, O Vishnu. So just as all the water bodies come and meet in the ocean, similarly all the devotees come and meet you. Next, you have all the aquatic creatures who live in you, starting from the small fish till the big whale. Similarly, the entire world is encompassed in you, starting from small microorganisms till big elephants, human beings, and everyone. Next, he says that the devas, what they did is, devas, they got amritam from you by doing during the samudra mantana. They did a lot of churning the ocean, and that's how they got amritam. Similarly, devotees also, they keep churning you by worshipping you, by chanting your names, chanting prayers, and so on. That's how they also get amritam or nectar in the form of your blessings. Next is, he says, water is always available in the ocean, right? Maybe a river can dry up, maybe a lake can dry up, or maybe a small water body can dry up. The ocean never dries up, right? Ocean or a beach. If you go to a beach or so, whenever you go to a beach, you never feel, no, yesterday I came, water was more, today the water is reduced. That can be due to the tide situations. High tide, low tide, that is different. Apart from that, we never feel, oh, today water is very less, but water in the ocean has gone away. At least till date, such a scenario has never come. Like that, that which is always filled with water, or that which always provides water, is the oceans. Similarly, the Lord also, you also provide all your devotees with blessings always. Never ever a devotee will say, no, today he blessed me, tomorrow maybe the Lord will not bless me. It's not like that at all. So however a person is, a person might maybe dirty the waters, he might pollute the waters, anything he might do, but still the water in the ocean remains the same. You worship the ocean, maybe you have a nice time at the beach and go home, or maybe you throw something into the beach, the water is the same for everyone. Similarly, all kinds of devotees are same in front of the Lord. There might be people who insult the Lord, there might be who don't believe in him, there might be who show a lot of worship, there might be who show normal worship like most of us. Whatever little we can, we do. In spite of all this, we are same. The Lord considers all this to be equal. Further, he says, just as now, generally, if you go to an ocean, the water in the sea is salty, right? But now nobody will go and drink water from the ocean directly because the water is salty. Whereas still, when fresh rainwater falls, your water becomes fresh. If someone now directly from rainwater, when it falls, falls into the ocean, right? But that water is never salty. If you take it in your hands, you can drink it, it will always taste good. Similarly, Lord also, though it might feel very difficult for us to reach the Lord, but through the form of, through the acharya that is there, or through a guru margam, through a guru, if we get in life, then just like then rainwater. So rainwater here is compared to a guru. So ocean is salty, maybe the path of devotion or reaching the Lord can be difficult. Salty in the sense it can be difficult, but just as rainwater, even though it falls in the ocean, if you catch it, if you get hold of it, it will taste good, it will taste as pure water. Similarly, if we also get hold or catch a good guru, our path becomes easy. The guru always guides on the right path. He will always take you to good places. He'll always maybe teach you and he'll show you a means to reach the Lord easily. So this is how Parashara, he compares the salty ocean with the Lord, how the Lord is considered to be a ocean. Very beautiful description. Further, he says, depending on the moon, depending on the phases of the moon, you have the situation scenario of high tide and low tide. Similarly, so the moon is like a medium. So moon, full moon day, new moon day, depending on that, the sea tides change. Like that, you also, you shower the right kind of jnanam that is there on all your devotees. But we devotees are like the high tide and low tide, depending on our mood, or maybe depending on the satsangam and so on. Jnanam is the same, right? All of us, we are born, we are all human beings. We are born with the same things. Two eyes, two ears, nose, everything is there. Buddhi is there, intellect is there, all the resources are there, but not everyone is equal. Few people do good things, few people do evil things, few people go on the wrong path. There are so many things, there are so many differences that come in. So you bless everyone with the equal jnanam. It's on us. Just as the sea is impacted by the high tide and low tide, similarly, we also human beings, devotees, you bless everyone. Just like the moon is the same. Moon is always there in the sky. Jnanam is always there in the sky. You shower jnanam on all us devotees. It is on us to accept that. Further is, people would, they will want to cross the ocean. That is now, but it's very difficult, right? You can cross a river, cross a lake also, but you cannot cross a ocean. It's very, very difficult. Similarly, but they have the wish in them. Similarly, we devotees also want to cross this ocean, that is ocean of samsara, and want to reach till you, but it becomes very, very difficult for us. We maybe go on that path, but we have to drop down in between. Lastly, what he says is, for but there is a means for everything. For every problem that is there is a solution. So to cross over this ocean, what you need, if someone has to, you have those people who go like sea sailors and so on, or the navy people, they have to go in the sea. What they do is they'll have a nice ship or a boat, right, with them. So with the help of that, you can go. A very nice, you can say, very strong ship or boat is needed in order to cross over this ocean. Similarly, the ship or boat in the form of bhakti is very much needed in our lives in order to cross over this ocean of samsara and to reach the ultimate God, Narayana. So with this, Parashara, he completes his description and he says that now you get a clear answer why you are compared to the ocean, or why I told you that you are like an ocean. Lord Ranganatha is very much happy with this answer and he says, Ameyatma. Meaning, now one more thing is, I forgot one thing to tell you. That is, the ocean, it is always peaceful. That is, peaceful in the sense, it is always, now whenever you go to a beach or so, or any river body you see, you always feel happy, right? Nobody will feel, oh, looking at this water my head starts paining, or I feel irritated, or you start fighting. It doesn't happen. You go to a beach, you go to a riverside, you always feel happy. Similarly, you go to any temple, you go to any abode, or maybe abode of the Lord, and any kind of worship that you do, you always find peace that is there. You never feel bad. You don't have negative emotions or feelings that come in. Always there is a sense of peace that we feel. So the same thing is compared. Then the ocean never dries up, right? Similarly, your karuna or your karunyam also never dries up towards all your devotees. Now, Ameyatma, this word has already come. In the previous Vishnu Sahasranama, already this nama has come, Ameyatma. So there, the meaning, it is nama number 103. Ameyatma, it had already come before nama 103. That means one who's beyond karuna, that is one whose karuna, karunyam, compassion cannot be measured. In this reference, you can say one whose gambhiryam cannot be measured. Gambhiryam is depth. So ocean is gambhiram, right? We say gambhir. Gambhir meaning very deep. That is, we cannot imagine. It is depth and everything is very strong, that we can consider very strong, or you can say very firm. That way, that is the ocean. The Lord also is like that. We cannot change at all. So in this context, you can consider as Gambhiriam or Gambhiriam. That is the meaning here for Ameyatma. The Nama 103 Ameyatma, meaning there is no measure for Karuna at all. That is, the Lord's Karuna or compassion cannot be measured at all. In this context, the Gambhiriam or the depth of the Lord cannot be measured at all. So this is the Nama here. So Ameyatmane Namaha is the Nama, and the Phalashruti is, we will also be blessed with a lot of deep devotion, that is. Now there will be 100 people who say, no, I have bhakti, I have bhakti, I have bhakti. Telling about I have bhakti, 100 people who actually show bhakti will be only 50. What about the other 50? They say, no, I show a lot of bhakti, I have a lot of devotion. You ask me anything, I'll know. Out of that 50 who do, 50 are the people who actually do. The other 50 they just talk about. This is not Gambhiriam. The 50 who actually do is Gambhiriam. So when I say that the Phalashruti is to be blessed with Gambhiriam, is just not mere speaking. We have people who just speak, right? I'll do this, I'll do that. Even all of us also, let's not just pinpoint on others. Now, even in case of myself also, I'll say, no, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'll tell 10 things. Maybe out of that, I'll end up doing only one. What about the other 9 things? It's just gone, it's just in air. So there is no Gambhiriam at all. We think many things, we speak many things, but actually what we do, that is very, very important. Can be devotion, 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 we say. What actually you do, that is very, very important. It need not be only for bhakti, it can be for anything. So not just mere speaking, actually being able to do things also, to be blessed with that. That is the Parashruti of this nama. Ame Atmane Namaha. Okay. Could everyone understand this nama? Yes? Okay. Okay. So, okay. So today we will stop here. One more thing. Shriman, I told you that Shriman also, that is a previous nama. We like that in the Vishnu Sahasranama, it has already come before. For that, the previous nama which is there for Shriman, that number is 22. 22nd nama of the Vishnu Sahasranama was also Shriman, meaning full of beauty. This nama that is there, again when Shriman comes after 175, I don't know the exact number, I think it is one, it will be 170s or 80s, 180s. In that, it is full of ornaments. That is this meaning here. So if you want to note down the numbers, you can do. Ame Atma previously, that is no measure for Karuna. Karuna cannot be measured of the Lord. That is Nama 103. This Nama meaning is no limit for Gambhiryam. So no depth. Depth cannot be measured at all. Okay. So today we will stop here. We meet again next Saturday.